concept of the perfect latte with a press of a button has been a long-standing aspiration in the world of home barista. As someone who's been closely following the recent innovations, I've always been fascinated with how far we have come towards that. The Dreo Baristamaker KMF-001 claims to exactly do that very thing. It's a new offering from Dreo, a company known for electric motor-based appliances. Think of things like space coolers, air fryers, and humidifiers. Apparently, they're making the bold move to expand their experience to the coffee space with a fully automatic milk frother that claims to produce latte art at home with a press of a button. This development was personally comforting, as it highlights the significant attention being given to home latte art. There's often a strong suggestion of substantial business potential when an outsider plunges into a particular niche. This review is made as a collaboration with Dreo, who provided a pre-retail sample for testing without my expense. Rest assured, I'll try to be as impartial as possible. The Dreo KMF has a supposedly easy-to-work, magnetically rotating detachable propeller that rotates inside a stainless steel jug sitting on top of a heating plate. The design is complex, with a separate heating and propelling system working in tandem, controlled by a well-tuned microcontroller. Learning the intricacies of the system is beyond my scope of ambition, which is expected from a clueless but ambitious enthusiast like me. Well, moving on. The appliance can be a stirrer whisker by installing the disc propeller, or it can also be a latte art foamer if the impeller attachment is installed. I'm almost certain we are here for that, so to install the impeller, all you need to do is hold the impeller by the bottom, lower it down carefully, and the magnet will snap strongly with the metal rod in the jug. Once that's done, pour some milk to the mark indicated by latte art. Then, select the appropriate speed and temperature by the buttons on the right. The temperature goes up to 170 Fahrenheit. Wait, is it really in Fahrenheit? Yep, it's everyone's favorite temperature unit. Not sure if you can change it in the final version, but I prefer Kelvin, even though it's not perfect. Degrees radian is my personal favorite due to its periodicity. Well, seriously, I hope you can change it in the final version. After that's set, choose the preset by the buttons on the left. The machine is able to be configured to froth a cappuccino, latte, and flat white foams with different types of milk. I'll stick to dairy milk to simplify the review. The interface will prompt for the correct propeller based on the chosen preset. This customizability is possible due to the separate nature of the heater and the frother, unlike professional milk frothers, which aerate and heat milk at the same time. During my testing, I found the customizable interface to be simple. It's simple enough that I nailed a latte art within 3 attempts. Standard latte art principles apply. Work deliberately, but stay relaxed. I found that the appliance is very consistent on making latte art. Impressive, but it's what the machine is promised to do. I'm pretty sure they aren't going to be bothered sending it to me when it doesn't do what it promised, right? If it ends here, I'm not going to be impressed. You'd achieve similar results with a French press with enough practice. The real concern is whether it addresses existing problems in my method. During my time using the appliance for more than 2 weeks, I noticed that the main advantage of the Dreo is that it irons out 2 of the major obstacles in making latte art. The PID-controlled heater eliminates the guesswork on milk temperature, while the automated texturing process allows the barista to put more focus on the pour. While it is true that 210 seconds from start to finish is not that fast, the time in turn will let you prepare the espresso simultaneously without a lot of rushing. A faster process would still be beneficial for those who are time constrained though. Second, there's also a huge reduction in physical effort, which will also reduce the anxiety during the pour. Then, I also tested it with a reduced fat and non-fat dairy milk. The results were surprisingly very good for low fat. For skimmed milk though, it's not as good, but I'd say it still is very usable. Wouldn't ask for more, as I don't think even professional milk frothers would do better. The consistent performance across milk types suggests that both the heating and the vortex creation systems are tuned well enough to fit most dairy types. Cleaning, which is the problem that I mentioned to be the biggest, is often a significant concern with these appliances. I didn't even feel a lot of confidence on this after seeing Aram's review on the Subminimal Nanofoamer Pro. In his review, which you can see on the video description, he loathed the cleaning process. But during my experience, his concerns on the nanofoamer were well addressed. The stainless steel jug is free of electrical components and wide enough to clean. Milk scorching is also rare due to the spread out heating element, but it can still occur at the hottest setting, though they're minimal and would go off easily with a light wipe, so it's still not a huge issue either. The heating plate can also be smeared with scorched spilled milk, but this isn't really a concern as the heater plate and the jug are completely separate. Some effort is unfortunately still required, particularly in cleaning the propeller to prevent milk residue buildup. Luckily, the experience is far from being a bad thing. The jug allows for direct pouring, but its bulkiness will not replace a dedicated pitcher. For a better result, you still would want to use a dedicated second pitcher, but you'd not have a perfectly clean second pitcher. I'm pretty happy to say, in the end of this showcase, is that the Dreo either solves, or partially solves, many of the issues we've talked about previously. Let me list them out. Use of alternative milks, milk temperature consistency, reducing the overwhelming effort, and reducing the time taken. The entire process is much more streamlined, and the finishing touch-ups can become a lot simpler. Still, there are some potential improvements that they missed. With the well-executed separation of heating and frothing, I'd like to see a mechanism to keep milk moving after the frothing is done. Plus, a possible upgrade option that can offer a faster operation with a more powerful heater could also be given. The touch buttons and high-resolution display might have not been necessary, in my opinion. They can be unresponsive sometimes, and may hurt the appliance's longevity. Sure, I'm a well-known capacitive button hater, but I'd say physical buttons and sliders are more than enough. Dreo informed me that the Barista Maker will have an MSRP of $99 USD when it retails. I think this is a good value, and a great step up from any solution that I've seen around or under that price. But it is clear that the purpose is not to compete with the affordability of basic French presses. Regardless, there's a lot of benefits from buying one, so the appliance is indeed impressive and fulfilled its promises. However, while I have no hesitation to say that I am very impressed, I still have a mixed feeling of the fact that it represents a major deviation from my personal goal of hands-on latte making at home. Having the options is always great, but I am honestly kind of confused on where to put my French presses. In the meantime though, I'll further explore other alternatives before drawing the final conclusions. I'll continue with other approaches in the subsequent parts, so if I may, I'm stopping here, and until next time,